We've been in Leipzig, Germany for the past month, and today we're going to share a taste of this bustling university city with you. But first, let's zoom out for a second. Leipzig is located about 200 kilometers southwest of Berlin in the German state of Saxony, in an area that was formerly East Germany. Today, it's home to about 600,000 people and is the fastest growing city in Germany. The presence of Leipzig University is very apparent, taking a central place right here in the city center. In fact, this right here is perhaps one of the most striking buildings in the whole city. It might look like a cathedral on first glance, but it's actually a sort of deconstructed cathedral facade and not actually an operational church. When you step inside, you'll find a wide open modern space that serves as the university's assembly hall and informal religious gathering space. Now, around this same square, we can also see the Gewandhaus, which is essentially a concert hall, as well as the Opera House.
As Ali mentioned earlier, Leipzig sits in what was formerly East Germany, and because of its university population, it was a hotbed of resistance after World War II during the communist occupation. Demonstrations here and across Germany were frequent and powerful. Even today, you'll find footprints embedded into the sidewalk commemorating Leipzig's participation in the peaceful revolution, which ultimately led to the reunification of Germany in 1989.
This little square is probably my favorite in Leipzig, and right at the center is a statue of Johann Sebastian Bach. The famous composer and musician took up residency in the St. Thomas Church in 1723 and was later buried right here. Right across the square is the Bach Museum, and that was probably my favorite activity while we've been here. It's a really well put together museum, accessible and interactive. I highly recommend it, especially if you happen to be here on the first Tuesday of the month, when the museum is totally free. If you're up for another kind of musical experience while you're in Leipzig, you can check out a choral performance inside of the St. Thomas Church. Admission is only €2. But it's not just about music. Leipzig has nearly 20 museums, and a couple I can recommend besides the Bach Museum are the Grassi Museum of Applied Arts, which houses art and cultural artifacts from the last 3,000 years, and the Forum for Contemporary History, which basically covers German history post-World War II. And I think this free museum does a nice job of covering what life was like during the communist regime and during reunification. If you come to Leipzig, chances are you'll arrive by train. By high-speed rail, we're only an hour and a half from Berlin, 3 hours from Frankfurt, and 3 hours from Hamburg. Now, fun fact, this train station is the largest in Europe by square footage. I think they're cheating a little bit by counting the mall underneath the train station, but that's okay. Now, because we're here for a month, we decided to get the Deutschland Pass, which costs €50 a month as of the summer of 2023. And this pass gives you unlimited access to public transportation in all of Germany, with one exception. You can't use it for high-speed rail, but for buses, trams, S-Bahn, and even regional trains, you can use it. It's all included. And for the most part, while we've been in Leipzig, we've been using trams to get around, mostly because we have a tram stop right outside our apartment, so it's really convenient. If the weather's nice, you might opt to get around the city by bike. I've honestly loved riding bikes while we've been here, even when it was raining. And this beautiful park is one of the best spots, I think, to take a leisurely ride around. And it's not just about city parks. A lot of people go out of the city on the weekends to enjoy some green space. And one of the more popular spots is the collection of lakes on the south end of the city. Now, these aren't natural lakes. They were originally mines that have now been filled in, but they're really pleasant. There's tons of walking trails and sandy beaches. Now, I will say, when we went down to the lakes, we were kind of planning on just hanging out, but I really wish we had brought our swimsuits because everyone was swimming, so definitely bring your suit and take a dip.
Now, we aren't in Bavaria, so you won't see much of the stereotypical Lederhosen and biergartens, but socializing over beer, wine, traditional German fare is definitely still part of the culture here. One of the most affordable ways to sample different kinds of beer, if that's your thing, is just popping into one of the grocery stores and picking up a few. Now, you won't find a huge refrigerated section, so you will need to plan ahead a bit, but the beer selection is incredible and it's very affordable. And if the weather's nice, you can always head to town or try one of the beer gardens around. We kind of stumbled upon this place in a park, and service is friendly, beer's good, food is good, it's shaded, it's really nice.
While we've been in Leipzig, we've been staying in a neighborhood about 5 to 10 minutes southeast of the city center. Our apartment is up on the 6th floor, but lucky for us, we have an elevator. Let's go take a quick peek. We've really enjoyed being so high up. We keep the windows open pretty much all day and night and get a nice breeze and views of the park and the city center. The big table for working from home and washing machine have also been quite handy. But after a morning of work, I think it's time to head to a little cafe for a treat.
Grabbing an espresso and a slice of cake in Leipzig is an absolute must. There's tons of options in the city, but generally look for a place that serves coffee, and more than likely they'll have a couple of very tasty homemade German cakes as well.
All right, so is Leipzig actually the next Berlin? We don't really think so. Berlin is obviously a large metropolitan and has a true grittiness to it. Leipzig is a small city and feels like a small city. It may have the same youthful feel in a sense and have a little bit of edginess, but we don't really think that the two can be compared at this point. But maybe in a few years, as the city grows, it will start to feel more like Berlin. Maybe you should come to this side of the world and see for yourself. Thank you for being here. We're honestly having so much fun filming these little videos as we travel, and next week we're gonna try out a little bit of a different style video, so we'll see how that goes. We're gonna take you along for a little bit of like a day in the life here in Germany. So until then, bye!